In the heart of the ancient Zulu kingdom, where the golden grasses of the savannah stretch endlessly beneath the blazing African sun, life was ruled not just by men, but by the spirits of the ancestors. Here, every drumbeat had meaning. Every wind carried a whisper from the past. Every choice came with the weight of tradition. It was in this sacred land that a story began, a story of love so powerful that it dared to challenge the gods themselves. The chief's daughter Amina was the only daughter of Chief Bawa, ruler of the Zulu people. She was known across the plains not only for her beauty, but for her wisdom. Her voice calm like the river Kambari, her laughter light like the early morning breeze. The elders said she carried the spirit of her grandmother, the great priestess who once guided kings. But within Amina burned a fire, the fire of a heart that longed for freedom beyond the palace walls. Her days were filled with ritual and duty, serving guests, learning the songs of the ancestors, preparing to marry the son of a neighboring chief, an alliance meant to strengthen the Zulu kingdom. But love, as the old griots say, does not listen to the drums of duty. One fateful Harmattan evening, as dust floated gently over the land, Amina's royal entourage went hunting along the riverbanks. It was then that a wild buffalo broke from the bush, charging straight toward her. Before anyone could react, a single arrow flew through the air. Strong, precise, deadly. The beast fell. From the thicket emerged Danjuma, a young hunter of the Tunga clan, one of the lower lineages forbidden from mixing blood with the ruling families. His clothes were simple, a vest made of animal hide, beads around his neck carved from old bones, a small charm tied to his wrist for protection. His eyes, however, spoke with courage and gentleness. Amina's gaze met his, and in that single glance, a bond was formed. Amina found reasons to wander toward the river where they first met. Danjuma was always there, sometimes fishing, sometimes repairing his bow. They spoke of the land, of freedom, of dreams neither of them could speak aloud. But in Zulu, love across clans was a forbidden path. To marry outside one's bloodline was to invite ancestral wrath. Yet love does not obey boundaries. Under the shelter of an ancient baobab tree, they began exchanging tokens, bracelets, cowrie shells, pieces of carved wood. But Amina went further. She took a ritual calabash, one used by the priestesses to offer libations to the gods, and used it as a secret messenger between them. Inside, she hid her written words, her tears, her heart. Every moon, the calabash passed between them, a sacred vessel of love, carrying secrets through forbidden hands. One night during the festival of New Harvest, the oracle, an old blind seer who served Chief Bawa, was summoned. The people had begun to whisper that strange things were happening, goats refusing to eat, sudden storms over the plains, and owls crying in daylight. In a trance, the oracle's voice trembled as he spoke. A calabash meant for the gods has been defiled by mortal desire. Until it is broken, sorrow will dwell in this land. The words fell upon the palace like thunder, but no one understood what they meant. No one except Amina, whose heart sank like a stone in deep water. Among the palace women was Zainabu, Amina's cousin and closest friend. But in her heart grew envy. Envy of Amina's beauty, her attention, and the secret light in her eyes. Zainabu followed her one evening and saw her with Danjuma beneath the baobab, exchanging the calabash. Jealousy burned through her like desert fire. That night, she crept to Chief Bawa and whispered the truth. The chief's fury was like a storm. His voice shook the palace walls. To defy the ancestors was not only shameful, it was dangerous. He ordered guards to capture Danjuma and bring him to the royal court. When Danjuma was dragged before the people, Amina ran to plead for him, falling to her knees before her father. But Chief Bawa's heart, though heavy, was bound by duty. "You have dishonored the spirits," he said. "You have used a sacred calabash for deceit. You have shamed your blood." The oracle was summoned once again. His verdict echoed through the courtyard. If the calabash remains whole, the land will suffer. If it is broken, blood will be spilled. The meaning was clear. Their love could not survive. Danjuma was sentenced to exile beyond the Zulu borders, never to return. Amina was confined to the women's quarters. forbidden from seeing the sun until her wedding to the neighboring chief. But love, once awakened, cannot be caged. On the eve of her wedding, as the moon hung low and pale, Amina broke free. She wore her white ceremonial cloth and carried the forbidden calabash, the same one that once held her heart. Through the darkness, she ran toward the hill of ancestors, where Danjuma awaited her. Rain began to fall, soft at first, then heavy, as if the heavens themselves were weeping. When they met at the hilltop, neither spoke. Their eyes said all that words could not. Amina lifted the calabash. "If breaking this will save our people," she whispered, "then let our souls pay the price." Together they smashed it upon the sacred earth. Sacred oil spilled, mixing with the rain, glowing like fire under the storm. Lightning split the sky. Thunder roared across the plains. When the storm finally ceased, dawn rose over the silent land. The villagers found the broken calabash, pieces scattered across the hill. But Amina and Danjuma were gone. Some said they drowned in the river, washed away by the spirits. Others swore that the gods took them, transformed into wind and rain to protect the kingdom they had cursed. Chief Bawa stood at the hill for days, silent and broken. When he returned to the palace, he ordered the story never to be spoken again. But stories, like love, have their own life. Generations passed, seasons changed. Yet when the Harmattan wind blows across the Zuru plains, carrying dust and whispers, the elders still tell the tale. They say that if you walk beneath the old baobab tree on a moonlit night, you might hear laughter carried by the wind, a man's voice and a woman's, entwined forever in a love that defied the gods. And there, near the roots of the tree, lies a single fragment of a calabash, cracked and ancient. Some call it cursed, others call it sacred. But all agree, it is the last memory of a love that was stronger than fear, stronger than tradition, stronger even than death. That love was called the Forbidden Calabash.